MMA, Eddy Williams. And now, for his opponent, fighting out of the red corner from Beatbox, Stokes. Martial arts bout at 55 kilograms. Daniel, the gentleman.
Bout number 8 of the evening, 55 kilograms. Fighting out of the blue corner, Eddy Williams from 360 MMA. His opponent, Dan Stokes from Beatbox in the red corner. Way big head kick attempt, just missing. Thrown up there by Eddy Williams. Really impressed with this 360 MMA camp.
Yeah, some athleticism being showed there, Chris, as Eddy Williams takes his opponent down to the ground with that leg trip, falling into a mount here, pressing up against the cage.
And Dan Stokes in early trouble there. Avoided the head kick by just an inch.
Did a good job of a sweep there. Dan Stokes locking Eddy Williams' arms up and pushing those hips up and getting the sweep there, Chris.
Brilliant defense displayed by Dan Stokes. Eddy Williams looking for that mission control there. Releases it. Nice active guard here. Eddy Williams looking to stuff an arm, maybe look there on the left side just against the cage. Throw up a triangle, as you can see. Very classic setup. Needs to try to put that right leg a little bit higher over his opponent's shoulders to keep him locked into the guard.
He seems to be working this triangle up here, underhooking the arm.
Ooh, this is going to be over. This is over. I bet he finishes this. He's in the halfway position.
Here, Chris. He's cinching up. He's just got to move that arm across the face of Dan Stokes, and this could be all over.
Yeah. I tell you what, a couple of weeks ago I called a fight at Fury MMA. That was this same position, and you know, once you get the figure 4 on the legs, it's just a matter of time, especially when it's early.
Eddy Williams did a good job of being tight here, but he seems to have this side control on the side of this triangle here. Now he's cinched it up. I was just about to say Eddy Williams' leg was over the top of Dan Stokes' shoulder, which makes the triangle harder, but he rewrited that, Chris, and this looks really tight here. Could finish Dan Stokes.
Eddy Williams cranking hard on that triangle. Referee in charge, Dan Mohidi, watching Dan Stokes very closely. Stokes still alive here, though. Maybe got a bit of space there underneath that chin. Eddy's got to adjust his grip here. Needs to get that left arm up on top of that shin, cranking down that head. Oh, he's going to swap to the armbar.
For the armbar.
Oh, and a brilliant escape.
Dan Stokes turns it all around there, Chris. It's a mount now after that near death from the submission, which was the triangle there, Chris.
Dan Stokes, brilliant display of a last resort escape. I love that one.
Dan Stokes here pounding down on his opponent. Williams covering up,
Wow.
pushing off the cage, trying to move his hips there.
What a round. Maybe the round of the night so far. Back. And here we go, round 2 of 3, 3 more minutes. Class A, amateur martial arts, mixed martial arts, excuse me. Chris Hoekstra here live with Dean Mid-Hat. Cage side, it's all action, Dean.
Oh, Chris, it's a great night so far. This fight has really come to play. These both athletic fighters here putting on a brilliant display. Again, Williams goes for that trip but misses it this time, and Stokes capitalizes.
I just love this weight class too. These guys just do not stop moving. If you watch, obviously at the highest levels, guys like Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, they're some of the best martial artists in the world, pound for pound, and certainly some of the most technical.
These guys really putting on a display there. A little right hand there from Dan Stokes connects to Williams, and they both drive forward. Nice spinning heel kick there from Williams. Just misses Stokes. That could have been the fight ender there, Chris.
Once again, another very nasty head kick attempt from Eddy Williams, but his opponent not having any of it and returning with heavy fire.
Williams seems like he's wilted here up against the cage. Stokes throws his opponent down to the mat. Lets him up, Chris.
Dan Stokes, an absolute animal in the cage. It's like really both of these fighters are bringing out the best in each other, and that for me is what these shows are all about.
Of course, Chris, why as you say that, Dan Stokes leaves with a devastating knee there. Williams seems to be fading slower and slower to the floor. Desperately tries for a takedown there, but Stokes stuffs it and puts Williams to the back of the mat.
But Eddy Williams, as we've seen, is very dangerous out of that guard. So, as I said, really both fighters playing off their strengths and showing off their strength.
I think you're right there. Stokes smells he could potentially get caught in something, so he lets his opponent Williams back up to the mat and puts in the striking.
Stokes looking for the spinning back fist. He thought about throwing up that question mark kick just before too. Hey, nice outside trip. I love this takedown.
Nice, brings his opponent down to the mat, tries to secure the back, comes into a mount here. Williams needs to regain the momentum in this fight, and he just does that by posturing up and punching the head of Dan Stokes here.
And Dan Stokes can give those punches, but he can take them too. Eddy on top here. Williams looking maybe to grab that left arm and take an arm lock here in the last few seconds.
Eddy being versatile with these strikes here, Chris. Taking the toll on Stokes, and he moves as Eddy Williams cinches in the rear naked choke. Could this all be over?
That's
How
it.
we get the tap, Chris?
With the tap, Marcelo Garcia style, no hooks required. Absolutely sensational submission from Eddy Williams here in the second round in the LFC.
However, after 2 incredible back and forth rounds, we have a winner. Due to tap out by a rear naked choke, put your hands together for Eddy Williams. Let's hear for Dan Stokes, an incredible opponent.
Gentlemen, I'm here with both of these incredible fighters. Eddy, first and foremost, you were going back and forth. Do you believe that you two brought the very best out in each other in this fight?
Most definitely. That, without a doubt, is the hardest fight I've ever been in. I was so close to quitting and so glad I didn't.
Now that triangle choke was wrapped up pretty tight from the halfway position then into the figure 4 in the very first round. What was going through your mind there in that moment in round 1?
Let's just say I was falling asleep, and then I had my coach, wherever he is, he's gone. I had him shouting at me, "You can get out of this, just bide your time, just wait, if you go out, you go out." But I got out. It was tight like anything, man. I was seeing stars. But put your hands up to Eddy. Unfortunately I didn't make weight, and Eddy still took the fight, so hats off to him. Well done, mate.
Now, Eddy, Dan came back after that triangle attempt with some nasty strikes. How did you eventually counter that and hit that choke at the end without hooks, I might add? Very impressive.
Really, without hooks? Oh, that's a bit sloppy. I'll work on that.
And Marcelo Garcia does it too, so it's all good, right?
Yeah. Yeah, after that triangle choke, honestly, I thought he was going to sleep. Burnt my legs out completely, and then that ruined my stand-up. Don't really know what to say after that. I have to watch the tape.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you should definitely watch the tape. Once again, a shout out to both of these guys, two incredible warriors.
I don't know where she is. I think my girlfriend's over there. She's had to deal with my mood swings. I can't be bothered to train sometimes. Thank you, babe. I love you.